Hi. You know what? It gives me great pleasure today to welcome Peter Clarke. He's my colleague at the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association and also a good friend, and he works for CAP, Christians Against Poverty. Thank you so much, Peter, for coming online.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Alf.
Brilliant. You know, the service today is about hope. And I know in your line of work and just in your general life, you come across a lot of people that have lost all hope. Could you share some stories with us of how someone who's lost hope finds hope? That would be amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, we're a national debt charity who help people who have basically got themselves into a bit of a mess financially, and our role really is to help them get through them difficult times, Alfie. And people generally call us when they're at the lowest, so they are desperate and hopeless, you know, in that situation. And our strapline at CAP is that there's always hope. And we believe that, you know, every time we have an opportunity of going out and meeting people in the community in public, you know, in our roles, that there's always hope. And this particular lady that I met a few years ago, I mean, she was suicidal. She tried to take her life in this particular weekend. I met with her that following week with a social worker present. And yeah, she was in rock bottom situation, £25,000 worth of debt. Her husband had left her. She'd lost her job. Her son had just moved out with a girlfriend. She felt isolated, alone. She just didn't know there's no way out. So hence she thought the only way out was to take an overdose. And it was really, really sad and heartbreaking to sit with her. But the great thing was that as well as giving practical solutions to her situation, Alfie, we were able to give something greater than that, was that there's a hope, that Jesus loves her, that he cares about her, and he wants that personal relationship with her. That also he sees everything that's gone on, that he's a loving, caring father that ultimately wants to just give her a hug, and he just wants to draw her near to him. And we, you know, she was an atheist. She had a lot of challenges about this. But over a period of time and building that relationship, Alfie, she started to question. And every time I would pop a little question, or she would pop a little question at me, I would say there's a little light that appeared in her heart that wasn't there before. And ultimately, the darkness that she felt that she was in was starting to get suppressed and pushed away to the sides, Alfie. Every time we smiled, or we had a conversation about something that was really positive for her, or just telling that we loved her and cared for her, and dropped shopping off and all those things. In the same way, Alfie, that we walk past a homeless person in the street, you know, we just smile at them, or we go and buy them a little bit of food. There's a little bit of hope that ignites in a person's heart. So that's the powerful thing. And that particular lady, you know, she gave her life to Christ. She got baptized, and she's still here today. And ultimately, her life was saved because of the service, but ultimately greater than that, because Jesus came and made his home in her heart.
Fantastic. Oh, thank you for sharing that story. That's amazing. You know, there are some really difficult situations that people are facing right now, especially with COVID, been diagnosed from the doctor with a terminal illness. I mean, is the hope there? Can hope be received there as well, Peter?
Yeah, I believe there's always hope. I mean, I've experienced it myself, Alfie. My son was diagnosed with a tumour a couple of years ago. You know, you don't expect a 13-year-old boy to tell you he has a lump in his body. And after some scans and blood tests and everything else, you know, we were sat in the oncology ward in Alder Hay. And for many, they were it seemed a hopeless situation. It was heartbreaking to be there with children with cancer. And potentially my son was going to be that. But all I can say to you, Alfie, is that in that moment of desperation and a difficult situation, I had the opportunity and the privilege to pray for my son, and my son prayed, and my wife, all that week. And I can tell you, I have the photographs and everything else, Alfie, that my son got healed that week. And it was totally, you know, it was clear to see on the screen. And within 1 week, it disappeared. So the doctors were blown away. People were blown away. And Jeremiah 29:11 says that, you know, that God has plans and a hope and a future for each one of us, Alfie. So if someone's out there and they're struggling and they're in a bit of a dark place and they're depressed or feeling suicidal, what I would ask you to do is pray. And pray is just like picking up a mobile phone. It's having a conversation with God and saying to him, God, I'm here. This is my situation. This is how I'm feeling. Can you come to me? Can you just come and make your home in my heart? Can you come and speak to me? Can you help me? Can you guide me through this difficulty? And he's faithful and just to answer those prayers.
He is. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I think you've just answered my last question. If there is somebody feeling hopeless or hope's gone, what would they do? And I think you've just answered that, Peter. Thank you so much. And you know, there's numbers below here. If you have no one that you can contact, yet the God is there, like Peter said, but also contact these numbers below. There's someone there to talk to you and pray with you. Oh, Peter, thank you so much, and God bless you. See you
God
soon.
bless. Thanks for
Bye
having me on.
now.
Take care.
Bye
Bye.
bye. You too.